Yeah, Michael, and as we wrap up here, kind of curious to maybe what you might be doing this summer, but I think there's a lot of exhaustion right now on college campuses. I know it's hard to kind of relax when the whole world is burning down around you, and when your own institution might have to do layoffs and make big changes. I get all that. I hope for our listeners, if they work in and around higher ed, that they will get some downtime to recharge and kind of rethink restart, as we talked about, their institution when they come back in the fall, or when they really, many of them don't take off time. I realize that in the summer, but when they at least come back and are focused on this. The other thing that I hope happens this summer, this is, I think, a personal request for us as a show. We'd love to hear from our listeners about what they want on the show next year. What do they want to hear more about? We hear from our listeners. We get a ton of pitches for guests. We love those. We actually look at those, believe it or not. But what I don't hear enough from our listeners about, what I would like to hear from our listeners more about, is like, what do you want us to talk more about? Michael went through all the issues earlier that we did our 26, 27 episodes on this year. I think there's a wide variety of things. We probably tended to over-index on AI, which I think is critical. We always over-index on M&A, which we also think is critical. We explained why we didn't over-index on what's happening in Washington until the very end of the year, and obviously that's going to be an issue that keeps coming back. But I would love personally, Michael, to hear more from our listeners about, okay, what do you want to hear from us in season 9 now of Future You, which will be 2025, 26.
Yeah, build out our lists of topics and get us thinking. Tell us what we've missed, what is moving. Where are the bright spots, right? That's something I'd love to profile. Like, nothing made me more excited, Jeff, than the interview you did around what's happening in Indiana, for example,
Yep.
and the alignment there. Like, those are exciting, I think, things that we would love to highlight more of also, not just, frankly, the challenges, which are many, but to your point, who are the leaders that are going to help shine a way that we can see institutions reestablish trust, show value, and march into this extremely uncertain world at the moment.
Yeah, not to geek out, Michael, and then I'll let you take us out here. But the other thing is our Higher Ed 101 episodes. We had the one on college budgets, which I think, incredibly important if you are coming into an institution, coming into higher ed, if you're a trustee. We want to do more of those Higher Ed 101s. We've done them on accreditation. We've done them on budgets. We've done them on graduate degrees and online education. What are the other big topics that if you were to come from outside of higher ed, if you were to land on Mars and land on a college campus, that you would want to understand? We want to take a few more of those deep dives next year. So would love to hear from our listeners this summer on those topics.
Yeah, that's a great one. You're onboarding a new board member. What do you want them to know about that there is not a great 101 out there? We'd love to do it. So that's a good place to end it. Jeff, huge thanks to you for the partnership we continue to have.
A lot of fun once again, Michael. I can't believe it's been 8 seasons now.
Yeah, a lot of text messages over that time. Thank you, of course, to Danny Curtis, who's supported us all years, production, and Michael Peliquin and the group at It's Borderline who's been super helpful once again in making this show come into your feeds in the ways that it's done, to pushing Jeff and me to add video. So apologies again for that, but there it is. So huge thank yous all around, and we're going to stay close because I know we're going to try to unplug. We're going to try to plug Jeff's new book. Super excited about that to hit the stores in September. But we're going to be following the headlines. We can't wait to hear from all of you, and we'll see you next year on Future You.
And Michael, we will be tan, rested, and ready for the fall.
Let's do it.
On YouTube as well. See everybody after the summer.